So it's been a day now since Pyrocynical gave his response basically to Turkey Tom's. I mean, I know the response was, the allegations overall, but the meat of the video was going over Tom's document. It's obvious that Tom's document really rubbed him the wrong way, and he felt the need to really just go through it extensively like that. And it's really gonna be up to Tom to kind of respond to that and I guess give his take if he plans to do that. I don't really know. I don't know what Tom's planning to do, but we'll have to wait and see on that point. But, yeah, it's really sent shockwaves throughout the entire community. And I feel like the discourse has just really been lost. Now, yesterday I uploaded a video, and I thought my video was pretty good, and I still stand by it. I actually think optically, my video yesterday was one of the best videos I've ever made. Now, the public, boy, did they not agree with that. I think the video is now sitting at a 35% like ratio. It's got like 1,000 likes and 2,000 down likes, and the comments are just ripping me a new asshole. And this morning when I sat down and I was reading a few, obviously I didn't read every comment, there's like 500 of them or whatever, I'm not reading through all that shit. But I read through like a decent amount, and wow, people were kind of fucking mad. A lot of people were very disingenuous, and I wasn't too pleased by that, but overall, it seemed like the general consensus from my video yesterday was very negative, alright? Which I kind of expected, but at the same time, like, whew, it was a lot. Then I went over to Tipster's video, alright? Tipster, very middle of the ground, very nice commentator, he plays both sides, and again, I'm not saying that to insult him, but, I think even he would say he's a very fair, very middle of the road, both sides commentator. He kind of gives both perspectives, he's very careful. Even he was getting shit on, which is very strange to me, right? Like, he wasn't getting shit on as much as me, but even he was getting some shit in the comments of people just, Pyro fans just calling his ass out for saying what you would think they would agree with. And then I listened to Nick Diorio's stream, right? Nick Diorio, who, by the way, if you don't know, Nick Diorio, it's like a joke now that he wrote Pyro's response, because so many of Pyro's points feel like they are taken word for word from Nick Diorio's stream where he read Turkey Tom's document and disagreed with it pretty heavily publicly. So Nick Diorio, who basically did Pyro's response before Pyro fans started coming into his stream and calling his ass out. There was some retarded Pyro fans that were like, well, you sucked Zaptai's ass because you did an interview with Zaptai last week. Thinking that because Turkey Tom uses the name Zaptai on Twitter, that the actual Zaptai and Turkey Tom are the same people. Like, this is how delusional these Pyro fans are. And I'm not saying that Pyro is responsible for his fan base, alright? A YouTuber's not responsible for their fan base. And I'm not attacking Pyro's fans as a way to attack Pyro. I'm just saying that whether or not Pyro was the worst guy in the world or completely innocent of everything, it would never change the fact that his fan base is just disingenuous and just downright retarded. Alright? But let's not focus on that. Let's focus on what the conversation has become, alright? Because what the conversation has become and what it shifted to is who took the W and who took the L. I saw on Ivory's Twitter, and Ivory hasn't said jack shit. I'm kind of curious what Ivory thinks now that Pyro has issued his response. But I went on Ivory's Twitter, and I saw the comments were ratioing Ivory, which is very strange to me, because if you're gonna say anyone took the L, I mean, you could say Prison Mate Luke, you could say Turkey Tom, you could say maybe Diesel Patches, I don't know, those are names that you could throw out there as the supposed L taker. But they were ratioing Ivory, linking Pyro's apology and saying, Ivory, get fucked, you just got shit all over. And I'm saying, like, oh, the number one thing that the Pyro fans are saying is, did you watch Pyro's response? And I have to ask them the same thing. Because if you watch Pyro's response, he apologized and acknowledged what he did to Ivory was wrong. He even disagreed with himself in going after Ivory in the first place. So all these retards on Twitter linking the video to Ivory being like, haha, he got you, retard. Did you watch the video that you claim that we didn't watch ourselves? Because nobody seems to understand what the fuck they're talking about. Alright? There is problems on both sides here. And I'm gonna say this right now, alright? This is why the title of my video is what it is, alright? This is my new policy going forward. Throughout my coverage of the Pyrocynical situation, I think for the most part, I did pretty well, alright? Even nowadays, my take on Pyro yesterday was no different from my take from Pyro 3 days ago, or 5 days ago, or whatever. My take doesn't really change. I think what he did in those DMs with Ivory is disgusting, and I think based on circumstantial evidence, I think he knew the age. I don't know that. I'm not going to report that, but that's what I personally think. Make that what you will, all right? So my opinion doesn't change post Pyro's apology video. I still think Pyro's apology video was a very good video. It was a very effective video. More effective than I could have imagined a video from him addressing this situation could have been, all right? But the conversation doesn't really change. It's just the narrative has changed. The narrative has gone from Pyro is a creep to fuck Turkey Tom. That's what the narrative has shifted to now. And in some essence, it's you know, Tom's gonna have to pay the penalty for that, because Tom was pretty dead set on the fact that he pinned Pyro down. He proved Pyro guilty when his document is not substantial proof. It's circumstantial. That's the thing. His arguments are circumstantial and logical, but they're not, you know, direct, you know, hardcore proof. And that's the problem. And that's what's really gonna fuck him over in the grand scheme of things, alright? But yeah, it's just this conversation of, this guy took the W, this guy took the L, or whatever. Let's break it down here, and this is what I wrote on Twitter. Alright, let me pull this up on Twitter, because I think I said it better in words than what I could say just, you know, rambling off my ass right now. Where is it? Let's see. Alright, let's look at it like this, alright? This is not a matter of who took the L and who took the W. This isn't a fucking sports game. This is a real allegation. All that matters is what you think versus what you know. Whose word are you taking? Who did the objectively horrible thing or not? We have to discern two things here. What do you believe and what do you know? And after we discern that, you gotta figure out, alright, whose word am I taking? Am I gonna take Turkey Tom's word, but also acknowledge that it's not proof? Or am I gonna take Pyro's word and shit all over Tom? To be honest, at this point, I think whatever side you take, as long as you're clear about what the facts are, I don't care. You're entitled to whatever opinion you want, alright? So many people are trying to turn this into like a sports game or whatever, and here's the deal, alright? Going forward, and this is my announcement, when it comes to sexual assault allegations or rape allegations or anything of this nature, any of this serious shit, what I, myself, me personally, what I'm going to be doing forward is I'm going to become the biggest fence-riding cuck of all time. And what I mean by that is I'm not going to assume anything is off the table. I have no issue, really, with my coverage of the pyrocynical situation and how I covered it, alright? I really don't have much of an issue. But one issue that I do have with myself is there were too many instances where Ivory would say something, or Pyro would say something, or Tom's document would come out, and I'd be like, okay, either side is fucked. Game over. That's the end of the story. And then something else would happen. And I'd talk about it, and I'd be like, okay, this is the new thing that happened. Game over. End of story. Nothing else could possibly happen. And then something else would happen. That's my problem with how I handled it myself. It's a slight problem that I have with myself, but I think it needs addressing. Going forward, I'm leaving nothing off the table. You're probably gonna hear me say stuff if I cover stuff like this again, which I probably will, because a lot of the news nowadays is, you know, very dark sexual stuff and, you know, allegations and all of that. What you're probably gonna hear me say in the future is stuff like, based on what we know now, this is how it looks, but anything else could happen. Alright? Because, really, if you think about it, if you think about this critically, we never know the full extent of what's going on. We never know, like, every DM, every piece of information that could, adjust, you know. We never know all the variables of the situation, alright? And I'm sick and tired of falling into this trap where I feel like I know everything. You know what I mean? Where I feel like where I feel like I know something is 100% this way, and, you know, just, there's no way something else could happen that could change my perspective. Because I'm sick and tired of coming on here and just being like, wow, well, the story just completely changed. I didn't see that coming. Which is true. I never saw any of this stuff coming in the Pyro story. But I'm just sick and tired of... I feel like I'm getting led on by a string at this point. And going forward, I think from now on, I'm leaving nothing off the table. Anything is possible, alright? If fucking if some other YouTuber gets exposed, and it is just, like, deadly fucking information against them or whatever... You know what? Unless they themselves admit what they did is happened or is wrong, if they themselves don't come out and admit it, fuck it, dude. I'm sick and tired of being led around, you know, by a string or whatever. I'm probably just gonna say stuff like, you know what? Yeah, it looks really bad for them, but, you know, in a post-Pyro YouTube, anything could happen, all right? Any little bit of information could happen that could completely change every little variable to the story. So, I'm not mad at anybody, and I don't even think I took an L personally. But I do feel weird, all right? And that's why I'm making this video today. I'm not making this video to cash in or anything. I'm making this video because I feel weird. I feel really, really fucking weird after this whole situation. I don't feel like I personally did anything wrong, but I still feel almost as if I did do something very wrong. And I don't like this feeling, all right? It's a very strange feeling to have. I feel like we're back in Slazo land. And I'm not saying Turkey Tom Slazo'd Pyro, all right? Anybody who says that is retarded. But I feel weird. And I can't shake that feeling off of me. And I feel like I'm going to make this change now to avoid this from happening in the future. Not that I think I did anything majorly wrong in the first place, but I feel like I got out of this story by, like, the skin of my ass. I feel like I could have very well said something that could have been awful, because of how strongly I felt in certain ways. Look, the way it stands now, I still think Pyro knew the age. But that's what I think, not what I know. And that's the problem here. So, that's my thoughts post pyrocynical. Let me know what you guys think down below, I guess. I don't know. But, I had to come on here and just shoot it for a second, especially because I can't live stream anymore. But I just coming off this story very weird. And, you know, on one hand, I'm curious to see where this goes, you know, in the future. If this isn't finished yet, because every time I think it's finished, something happens in the future. So we'll just have to see. But my point to this entire video is no more. All right? No more. From now on, anything could happen, all right? A situation could come out in the future where pyrocynical, or not even pyrocynical, where any YouTuber could be accused of anything. And if it's not concrete, then for all I care, the next day the fucking moon could explode, all right? Anything's possible. So, that's my take. Goodbye. See you later.